Alrighty, we are back with Wealth Building Made Simple. We are here with Susanna Gibb, the Gibb Insurance Agency Dallas. What's going on, Susanna?
I am just getting ready for, I'm actually traveling this weekend,
Nice, nice.
which is nice that we have this delay in when you post. So I'm not really gone when people are listening to this.
Yeah, yep. And so,
Don't get me wrong.
side note before we go into there, y'all listen to the podcast every week when it comes out because I have a friend who didn't listen to last week's podcast and this week had a worker get hurt on the job and they didn't have workers' compensation insurance. So, um, listen to the podcast episodes. We are putting y'all on some money saving knowledge so that you can use that money to invest and grow and build wealth. So now today, Susanna, we are talking about travel insurance, which is near and dear to my heart because, well, you know, the summer of 2020, we had a trip planned to go to a destination wedding for a friend of ours in Jamaica, and then COVID happened, and then I had bought travel insurance because that's just what you're supposed to do, I guess. But I realized quickly that I didn't understand if it would pay out, when it would pay out, how all that kind of stuff worked, and spent hours reading the policy and talking to the insurance company, and it was just a headache. But all in all, things worked out. Glad I had it. Uh, it saved us a lot of money. And now we're traveling again later on this year. I bought some more.
Well, COVID has definitely changed travel insurance drastically. In so many ways, from the what's covered aspect to how you get evacuated aspect. And there's lots of fine print, so you got to make sure that you are reading the fine print when you purchase one of these for sure.
Okay. So let's start. Like, what is travel insurance? Uh, how do you buy it? Big picture, what does it cover? I know there's lots of clauses and things, but big picture, what does it cover?
So big picture, it covers before you even leave, if you can't travel. And there's different levels of coverage, from just like you just can't travel because of work, of an injury, because of illness, lost bags. It can get very, very detailed to on. So before the trip, it covers the trip. But then once you're on the trip, it covers you for if the trips change, if the plans change, if you get sick there, if you have to get medically evacuated from there, if you get COVID while you're there and have to quarantine while you're there, it will help pay for some of those expenses. So it's pretty detailed out. And of course, it definitely changes the price depending on how much coverage you buy and for how long.
Got it. And you said something that I didn't even know was an option. You said how much coverage you buy. From when I bought it, I didn't even get an option. They're just like, do you want travel insurance? Check the box.
Yeah.
I checked the box. So you can actually buy more over and above what you get from the travel company, or no?
Yeah. If you imagine there's like a silver, gold, and platinum level, the silver is just like, your basic, and the platinum is you cancel for any reason. They'll evacuate you for any reason. So yeah, it's really different. And then the amount of time that you're there makes a big difference too.
Okay. And so when people are purchasing travel insurance, so let's say, like we're going on a trip and later on this year, right? Um,
So I
how
can
would I
give you an example.
yeah, how would I purchase travel insurance outside of like just checking the box when I buy the package from my travel agent?
Well, you can go to your insurance agent for sure. Like we recommend to a couple different companies. There's some online that you can find as well. MedJet Assist is one. Global Rescue is another. And so, for example, for this trip that we have coming up, one of the plans that I was looking at to give us a really nice broad set of coverages, because we're going to go to Mexico, and so if while we're in Mexico we get a positive test, we have to stay there. I wanted to make sure that would be covered I wasn't so much worried about the front end because we did our due diligence and only booked everything that could be canceled at the last minute in case we got COVID 2 days before and had to leave. But this particular package was like $900 and we would have been totally set. So it's really one of those things that you have to kind of weigh of whether this is something that you want to take on and how worried you are about it. We're both vaccinated and boosted. So we were like, it's only 4 or 5 days. And we're going to stay way far away from everybody. Like we did that on purpose, and we don't go out to clubs and get in a position where we're more likely to catch it. But that was what it would have cost us for that trip. Now they also have memberships that you can buy for people who travel all the time. So buying a year membership might be a better option. And you can read in some of the wording, they're like, we will come and find you wherever you are if you need to be evacuated. We employ Navy SEALs. We employ all these ex-military people, to where I was like, they will come and find you. They were like, we will find you is their wording. We'll find you. It's like, wow.
That's pretty dope. I like that.
They call it field rescue.
Field rescue. That's insurance that just will make you feel good. Just having, just going, yeah. Anytime I just.
You picture the Navy SEALs in all the movies. They're like coming down from helicopters, like, we've got you. Let's go. So
yeah, you might use it just to stunt on your friends and just be like, listen, I'm ready to get out of here, y'all.
Yeah. But then you hear stories about people who travel and they get the positive test trying to leave the country. And there's been people have had experience where they're like, oh, the hotel put us up. It was great. We had a view. They just brought us our food. It was fine. But then you've heard a lot of other stories where people were like, they put us in the crappiest room possible. They didn't bring us a ton of meals. We were stuck there for 2 weeks. And so there's things you can buy in the travel insurance that they will evacuate you even if you have COVID. They will come and get you and pull you out, which is nice to think about. Like some of the COVID strains have not affected people super terribly. And then some people have been horribly affected. So imagine if you're like super sick, hanging out in a hotel room, knowing, okay, somebody's going to come and get me and bring me home to where I'm comfortable with the level of care that I'm going to be having.
And I can imagine different places react differently to COVID. I feel like, if every place is not like Texas.
No, it's not. Now, the other thing that they suggest, which we're going to do for sure, is to bring your own rapid tests with you. That way, if right before you're about to test, you take your own rapid test. If you feel bad, if you're like, oh, I feel great, then maybe not. But if you're like, man, I got a little something, I don't feel great, take your own rapid test. And if it comes back positive, then you self-quarantine and do what you need to do without having potentially the local authorities involved right away with knowing that you have a positive test. Now, that's depending on where you are, but some places they're like, no, we're going to lock you down right away. And so you have a little bit of control into what the next 2 weeks of your experience is like in another country if you can't get out. So I thought that was pretty smart. I like to know that I'm in control of my person versus police in another country that may not operate the same way as the States.
That makes complete sense. So let me recap what I basically heard. We need to talk to an insurance agent to buy travel insurance because it's so nuanced that I don't really want to worry about trying to do this online or figuring it out myself because I don't want to get trapped in the country and can't get back to my kids because they won't let me back. That's what I heard, basically. I know
that's pretty much it. That's what we're here for, man. We just figure stuff out.
Yeah. Well, let everybody know how they can reach you if they want you to help them figure stuff out.
You can go to www.gibbagencydallas.com. That's GIBBagencydallas.com. And you can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, or on the TikTok.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you. And we'll talk next week.
All right. I'll be back with the tan.